So luckily for me, this is the bridge part of the creek jump. But we don't need it anymore because now I can clear it with no issues. So I don't have to have this to make sure I don't fall into the creek. But it works as a really good drop, and I found a great location for it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a cedar log and put it across this hole right here. Put the drop onto the cedar log, and then create a little runway and landing, and it's done. Alright, so it's time to find a good cedar log. Let's go look for one. Alright, so this small cedar forest here is where I'm going to be picking and choosing from. It's really close to the drop zone, so we won't have to haul it very far, which is good. I'm going to be using a steel chainsaw to cut this down. Well, actually my dad is. And I think the one I picked is right here. That one right there looks really good. So let's cut it down and build the drop. Alright, so now I'm digging in the cedar log to make sure it doesn't go anywhere when we launch off of it. This big lump where the run-up is going to be needs to go. It's keeping it from being level. Alright, so the lump is gone, and now we're going to cut off the rest of this 4x4 because it's a little bit too long, and that is pretty useless. So let's cut that off real quick. The Sawzall is one of my favorite cordless electric tools. It's great for cutting anything. Alright, so as you can see, these walls right here kind of dip in, and it's really hard to land a bike in between those. So we're going to kind of cut off some of that and some of that. And we're going to make a nice little kind of landing like that. That way you don't just go to flat, because hucking to flat on a hardtail is terrible. I mostly use the pickaxe just for breaking up dirt and the shovel for getting the extra dirt. The tractor does most of the work with taking it away and putting more in where the landing needs to be. If you saw another one of my videos, you know that I like using the hose a lot. It's really good for wetting down dirt. It makes it a lot easier to pack and work with. For the bottom half of the landing, I'm just using the tamper because it doesn't need to have that much of a curve on it or lip. But the top half is really important because that's where you carry most of your momentum from the drop. So I'm using a flat shovel for that. Alright, let's go take a look at the creek jump real quick. The creek jump was one of my first introductions to riding a mountain bike. It was just after I got my hardtail and I was really getting into it. So, obviously, I built a bridge in the middle, so if I didn't clear the gap jump, I wouldn't land in the creek. But now, I've progressed my skills a lot, and I'm ready to take away the bridge. In fact, the bridge is what we're using for the drop. This section had to have some work done to it. I had to level out a big section that had a big pothole in it. Also, me and my dad had to remove this massive rock that you would have ran straight into after the drop. I'm going to be attaching a fence post to the creek jump to make sure it doesn't wash away in the next flood. The creek jump's been out of place for so long that the rain washed the dirt back into the holes that we dug. I had to re-dig them and put the creek jump back where it belonged. Let's go ride. One last thing, the creek jump wasn't quite tall enough to clear the whole creek, so I added in a few rocks to make it even taller and steeper.